Hello, BookTube. Who's up for a huge book haul? We haven't done one of those in mere hours. And this will be the last one for the month of October. We're rapidly running out of October mail days. Uh, but it's a lot. So let's see what we have here. You all don't seem to mind opening packages and talking about them in front of you on camera. One of you called it my jam. That's perfectly happy to have a jam. That's great. Okay, all right. We start off with a YA book. Nothing wrong with that. Now that I've given critical reappraisal to the genre. Francina Simone. This is called Everything Beautiful Is Not Ruined by Danielle Young Ullman, who compounds her predilection for hyperbole, evidenced in a hyphenated name, by also having a breathless title. Can the book possibly live up? It could have been that I was a child. It's not looking good now, is it? It could have been that I was biased because she was my mother. Or it could have been that Margot Sophia Lalonde was massive, larger than life, riveting, take your breath away, vivid, and astonishing. In spite of all the years and everything since, I still think of her that way. Okay. All right. Okay, so Everything Beautiful Is Not Ruined by Danielle Young William Ullman, about Margot Sophia Lalonde, looks like it is going to fall prey to the number one sin of contemporary YA fiction, which is egregious overwriting. But you never know. That could just be the publicity material. This comes out in late February, so I don't have to deal with it right away. I'm actually right at the moment in a blast of deadlines. My second one in 3 months. So I'm looking at all these books and thinking, well, here's the reason I can't get to it, instead of what I usually think, which is here's the reason I can. Let's see what this is. Ooh, okay. This comes out in late November. Okay, this is The Master Plan by Brian Fishman. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and the Jihadi Strategy for Final Victory. And the cover shows a bombed-out cityscape, which might give you the wrong idea. The Jihadi Strategy for Final Victory has nothing to do with bombs and tanks. Let's see who Brian Fishman is when he's at home. He's a counterterrorist research fellow with the International Security Program at the New America Foundation. All of that sounds made up. But he previously served as a director of research at the Combating Terrorism Center at the U.S. Military Academy. As a professor at West Point, he taught the first dedicated course on the Islamic State of Iraq in the spring of 2008. Okay, so he's an expert. As much as anyone can be, he's an expert. That's great. Boy, this looks important. I should probably read this. I mean, read with italics. Read as in read, preparatory to reviewing. I should probably do that. Yes, the jihadi grand plan doesn't involve bombs and tanks. They'll use them incidentally, but they've made it clear from pulpit and podium what their actual master plan is. And it doesn't involve violence. It involves supplantation. Use the weaknesses of the West, the ideological weaknesses, against the West. Use the declining birth rate of the West against it, and use the institutional kindness of the West against it. This strategy has been openly stated, so it's not exactly a master plan in the sense of it being hidden. Instead, it's all the more discouraging, all the more ominous for that. But maybe the author will have a lot to tell me about that I know is wrong. Okay, this is another one for late November, and it's on the same subject. It's The Tragedy of U.S. Foreign Policy by Walter McDougall. It's how America's civil religion betrayed the national interest. Okay, so it comes out from Yale, but it doesn't sound particularly even-handed. McDougall examines the religious rhetoric that has sustained and driven an otherwise secular republic through peace, war, and global interventions across 200 years of history. From the Crusades for Independence to the Monroe Doctrine, from World Wars I and II to the decades-long Cold War campaign against godless communism, from the Clinton and Bush administrations to the Obama years, McDougall shines a bright light on the dogmas of civil religion that have bound together a God-blessed America. While pursuing their strategic and economic interests, McDougall argues, America's leaders have persuaded the public and even themselves that American policies have conformed to God's will. Okay. All right. Well, obviously this author is doing something that I don't understand. I'll need to read the book to find out. The Tragedy of U.S. Foreign Policy. All right. So these two kind of go together. Boy, oh boy. All right, so I'm in the rather odd position of hoping the next one is YA. That's a little much for one mail haul. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's even better than YA. It's a Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. Oh, you know how I love that. I love Penguin Classics anyway, but the Deluxe Editions, oh my. And look at how beautiful this is. It's Lord of the Flies. Oh. There's a pig's head on the back. Oh, man. There's the island. Oh, man. Oh, these are so beautiful, and this is one of the prettiest ones I've ever seen. Oh, fantastic. This comes out on November 15th. How sad that I won't be able to read it until December. No fiction. In November. Not even a Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. Unless somebody asked me to review it. I think it's a little late for that. So what have we got here? Oh, God. This is why I keep scissors nearby, because some people, this was sent from Goose Lane Editions in Fredericton, Nebraska. And it is packaged to go to Shanghai. You'd never guess from the packaging that this was actually sent inside the same country that it's supposed to go to, which is why I keep scissors nearby, because some people just overdo it, and you need to break into the package. And as I've said on this channel a number of times before, usually the worth of whatever's inside decreases with the amount of effort that you need to get at it. Like, for instance, I'm carving and cutting my way into this thing. It's still resisting me, even now, after like 15 minutes of trying. So I can almost guarantee that the book inside will be a giant pile of elephant poop. But you notice how heavy those scissors are. Just the other day, I watched a video. J.D. Archer got a book in the mail, and the packaging resisted him, and in the middle of filming, he had to say, I got to go up and get scissors, and leave. He had to leave the camera to go and get scissors. They should always be nearby. They're so important. So, what have we got here? Oh, okay, I was wrong. The book is called This Marlowe, by Michelle Butler Hallett. It's looks like a historical novel about Christopher Marlowe, so it's not a big pile of elephant poop. Fighting to stay one step ahead in the dizzying game that threatens those he loves, Kit Marlowe begins to question his allegiances and nearly everything he has once believed. Tensions mount and accusations of heresy and treason fly until he must choose between paths that lead either to love, honor, and loss, or to guilt and death. Okay. All right. So this is... Look, it's a lovely thing. Look at this. What a great cover photo. Look at that. That is, she is the author of the critically acclaimed novels Deluded Your Sailors, Sky Waves, and Double Blind, and the story collection The Shadow Side of Grace. Her short stories have appeared in the anthologies Hard Old Spot, The Vagrant Review of New Fiction, Everything Is So Political, and Best American Mystery Stories, 2004. She lives in St. John's. So this came from Canada. Still no reason to baffle-proof it, but that's all right. Fantastic. Okay, This Marlowe. I will have to... This is just a packing slip. It doesn't tell me anything. So I'll have to email her and ask her, what's what. When does the book come out? Is it out already? She sent it to me care of Open Letters. This is usually the sort of thing I would get care of Historical Novel Review. Doesn't make a difference one way or another. I will read anything to do with Marlowe, although not in November. A little theme is developing here with this little mail haul is trying to tempt me to read fiction in November. The answer is no. Oh, okay. Here we go. So this is A Literary Tour of Italy by Tim Parks, the companionable Tim Parks, and it's a paperback original that comes out at the very end of November. Literary Tour of Italy. That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Let's keep going here. We've got quite a few more to do here. Now, this one is one of those rare examples where the package gives away the surprise. This is a novel called A Simple Favor by Darcy Bell. And what have we got here? A single mother's life is turned upside down when her best friend vanishes in this chilling debut thriller in the vein of Gone Girl and Girl on the Train. Okay. All right. Well, I suppose in some circles that's considered praise. Oh, and it's a debut novel, but it has a blurb from Margot Livesey, who's usually quite good. Her latest book, Mercury, distinctly underwhelmed me, but she's a fine judge of literature. That's interesting. All right, so next spring's most buzzworthy tale starts innocently with a request for a simple favor. Glamorous, sophisticate Emily asks Stephanie, a stay-at-home mommy blogger, to handle the after-school pickup when she has to work late at her fashion job in Manhattan. Okay. Okay. Stay-at-home mommy blogger isn't glamorous. No. No, not at all. And the glamorous person doesn't know what a blog is. No, not at all. Okay. All right. Let's move on, shall we? This is I certainly don't want to be mean to a debut novelist, but let's just put it this way. In making my decision to read only nonfiction in November, I wasn't exactly tormented by lost opportunities. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's one for February. This is Grim Death and Bill the Electrocuted Criminal. This is a novel by Mike Mignola and Thomas Nagowski. And the problem with this advance copy is that this is an illustrated novel, and I'd be willing to bet the advance copy won't have oh no, it does. It does. So this is going to be an illustrated novel. I imagine the bulk of the writing work was done by this Nagowski person, and then spot illustrations throughout by the great Mike Mignola. Look at that. Huh? So February, an illustrated novel with Mike Mignola artwork. That's a must-have right there. Now, see, this one is for the Historical Novel Society. This is coming to me. Care of the Historical Novel Society, and the problem there is that the Historical Novel Society's indie branch has stopped reviewing self-published historical novels. So all these things are a waste of postage on the part of the author. I'm gathering that from this and a couple of other books that word is not penetrated as far as it should. And that's too bad. S.M. Harris, The Northeast Quarter. This is set in Winfield, Iowa, 1918. Colonel Wallace Carson, the ruler of a vast agricultural empire, asks Anne Hardy, his 10-year-old granddaughter and eventual heir, to promise she will safeguard the Northeast Quarter, the choice piece of land from which the empire was founded. Anne readily accepts, little knowing what awaits her. When the colonel is killed unexpectedly the same afternoon, the world around Anne and her family begins to fall apart. Against the background of America sliding from the post-war boom into the Great Depression, the Northeast Quarter tells the story of Anne's struggles to keep a promise no matter what. Interesting. So, Depression-era Iowa. In a nice big paperback. Now, I don't have the Historical Novel Review indie branch anymore for this, but if that appeals to you, if that description and subject matter appeals to you, this is called Northeast Quarter. It's by S.M. Harris. Just go to Amazon or go to his website and buy a copy and give it a try, because he's a self-published author and they deserve our support. I'm only sorry that I'll have to break bad news to him. Let's see here. We are nearing the end. What is this? Oh, very nice. It's an actual children's book. It's Little Big Girl by Claire Keane, with wonderful, wonderful, thick line artwork throughout. Just the kind of sumptuous artwork that isn't liney and it isn't nervy and it isn't nervous. This is the kind of artwork that will last for 50 years. So you'll still be looking at it and think that looks lovely in 50 years, which is something that, unfortunately, not enough children's books do anymore. They go after the kind of a more contemporary vibe at the expense of their artistry, I think. But when it comes to children's books, what do I know? Then we got this big box from FedEx. Here I am. I'm conscientiously looking for the tab that allows me to get into it, but of course that tab isn't going to work even if I find it. So let's just tear into it. There's the tab. All right, let's watch this fail. Oh, look at that. Good. All right, so what is this thing? Nice and big. Oh. This is right up Steve's alley. Just about as much of a bullseye as you could possibly ask for. This is Roman portraits. Sculptures in stone and bronze. This is to go along with a new exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. It comes out in November. I don't remember. I know about this exhibit. I don't remember if the exhibit is going on now. I don't remember how long it's going to last. I think it runs all through the end of the year. I'll have to find out. I'll have to go online and find out. And this is well, it's fantastic anyway, but it's extra fantastic for me in a poignant little way because I am not. I love the Met. I've been there countless times. I've walked its halls countless times with other people. Brought countless young men to those hallways and talked artwork with them, countless visiting families and friends. And it's a little melancholy. I don't leave Boston anymore. I won't be leaving until my duty is done to my girls. I won't be leaving them in the care of someone else when they need so much help, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. So New York is out for me. I won't see this exhibit or the next 10. I hope. I won't be at the Strand, won't go to Forbidden Planet, won't do any of those things, won't visit any friends in New York. So this is extra good because this is the only way I'm going to experience this. Of course, I know the Greek and Roman sculptures in the museum backwards and forwards. I have talked about them endlessly with endless numbers of people. Some of them are probably watching now. I've sketched them, sat there in silence on my own time. I lived in New York briefly, and when I did, I spent a huge amount of time in that wing, just with those gorgeous pieces, those completely solitary, silent glimpses of another world. And the Met has done such wonderful work in building up that collection and making it look great. So this is wonderful. Roman portraits. Probably the highlight of the day, but I saved this one to last just in case, because it's big, it's a box, it might be something special. You never know. This is the last of it, though. It's another hugely long video, and I'll let you go. Let's see what this is. Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Roman portraits, you might think, couldn't possibly be excelled as far as a Steve bullseye go, and I would have thought that too, but I'm completely wrong. This is a box full of Lobe Classical Library editions. A box full. A box full of Lobe Classical Library editions. So that kind of wins. This is early Greek philosophy. This is. It looks like all 10 volumes of early Greek philosophy. Those of you who aren't familiar with Lobe Classical Library editions, they've been around for a century. They're these lovely, handy things. These volumes that Harvard puts out. that have the Greek and Latin on one side and the English on the other, so that forever and ever, back when Greek and Latin were taught in schools, they were a mainstay of students who would, because if you're learning the language, you want side by side, you want bilingual presentation. This is whole week's worth of reading right here. So I cannot conceive of a stronger note on which to end this mail haul. So I'm going to end this mail haul. I'll see you soon, Book 2. Thank you.